Hi guys, just wanted to do another video regarding some of the things you're going to start to see in the training. As we've been going through this, we've been getting lots of exposure to back squat, bench press, deadlifts, cleans, and we've been adding weight each round or each time you get exposure to that. It's that progressive overload. We're progressively getting a little bit heavier each week. And what you should start to see, and some of you I think probably started to see it either by accident from not remembering loads, or the fact that you are following the increased weight each week to a point where you can't get through the prescribed sets, right? So let's say, I think where we're going to start to see it most is on the bench press and possibly cleans, just because we took a smaller step back because we were taking smaller steps up. So what would happen is if you came in one day and we had 3 sets of 5 at a particular weight, and maybe you couldn't get through those weights, right? Let's say the first set you did 5, but it was a bit of a struggle to get the 5th one. Second set, maybe you did 4. Third set, maybe you did 3, right? So you were not able to get through all 3 sets of 5 at that particular weight, right? So we're at a decision point here, right? Not really a decision point, but a point we're trying to get to, and that is that you can't make that weight, right? That's cool. We're looking for that failure point. We want that failure point, okay? So here's the deal. What's going to happen the next time you come in on that exercise? You're going to use the same weight that you failed at, right? Let's say you were supposed to do 200 pounds for your bench press, and you got what I talked about earlier. You did the first set of 5, second set of 4, third set of 3, right? Next time you come in, you're going to reload that weight, right? You're going to go back to that 200 because could be several things that happened to make you not make that weight. One could be you didn't rest long enough. Maybe you were trying to get through it too fast, okay? Take longer rest this time. Maybe you had very little sleep the night before. Maybe you just had some real issues with that, right? So we're going to reload that weight. Now, after that reloading, if you can't get it again, let's say you only get through 4, maybe 3 reps each time, that's cool. We've reached that failure point. Now it's time to reset the weight, right? So when you reset the weight, you're going to go back 3 weeks, okay? So 3 weeks for the bench press and clean is 6 pounds for men and 3 pounds for ladies, right? So we're only going up 1 pound at a time, right? So you were successful at those weights back 3 weeks ago, okay? So what we're going to then introduce is this principle of compensatory acceleration, okay? Compensatory acceleration is a tool that a gentleman by the name of Dr. Fred Hatfield, who was an exercise science kind of guy, he just passed away a year or 2 ago. He's also known as Dr. Squat. Fred Hatfield, at 40-some years old, in jean shorts, which is amazing, squatted 1,000 pounds in competition, in a powerlifting competition, at the age of 40, 44, or something like that. So he used this in training for squatting 1,000 pounds in competition, and also with several athletes that he worked with. He worked with many athletes, professional athletes, collegiate athletes, world-class Olympians, that kind of thing. So this compensatory acceleration is where every exercise has kind of a sticking point, right? As you're coming up in from the out of the hole in the squat, or you're coming up about halfway in the bench press where the bar starts to slow down and you kind of reach that sticking point. So that sticking point is where you're probably a little weak in that range of motion. Not necessarily weak, but it's not a very strong position for you. However, once you get past that sticking point, there's a point where the exercise gets easier, right? So that's where this compensatory acceleration comes in. Once you reach past that sticking point, that's when you're going to overspeed the bar. You're going to finish that rep strong. You're going to finish it strong and fast. What you're trying to do there is you're trying to ignite that white muscle fiber, that fast twitch muscle fiber that's going to give you a little bit more power, okay? So that next time that you hit that weight you struggle with, you're going to have a little bit more power to get through that, okay? So this reload reset's going to kind of create a little bit of chaos in our choosing of weights, because for some people are going to continue on with the progression because they haven't reached that point yet, and some of you are going to have to take steps back or use some of the same weight. That's cool. Everybody's different. It's kind of the principle of individuality. We're all the same, but we're all different, right? So each one of us is going to come at this, even if you've had a training partner and you guys are pretty close together and maybe even the same weights, you're going to find that you're going to not be at the same weights again. That's cool. You're an individual, right? So this is your training, not your partner's training, and your partner's training is not your training, right? So when we reach this, it's going to be a bit of chaos. We've been able to kind of get to a point where we are in the progression for most people is, say, 12 pounds off your 3-rep max, or 12 pounds off your 5-rep max, or 35 pounds off your 5-rep max, whatever. That's going to be different for everybody here pretty soon. So it's going to be a little bit of chaos, and it's going to be up to you to kind of keep yourself where you need to be to get the benefit for you, right? So this is, again, you're an individual. We're all the same, but we're all different. We all reach these points in different places, but these points are important. We want to get to that failure point so that we can start putting in this compensatory acceleration. The reason why we couldn't do that earlier is we were trying to build, if you recall from some of my earlier videos, we talked about inter and intramuscular coordination, right? The intramuscular coordination, the ability for that one muscle to fire all the neurons firing at the same time, or getting all those muscle units firing that need to be firing to get that muscle going, right? So you had to kind of learn that. And then the intermuscular coordination, which is that coordination between muscles, different muscle groups, to make this action happen, right? So as you've learned and as your body's gotten a little bit better and a little bit more exposure to these exercises, you're performing them a little bit better. That's when we can put in this compensatory acceleration, which is why we're getting it to that point. All right, that's what we're looking at coming up. So just be watchful for that and be ready for it, and now you know what to do.